Good morning, universe. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on the 13th. What is today? Yeah, Monday, March 13th. So, yeah, I didn't take mushrooms. I couldn't really get the house in order enough to do it. Kitty's wound has caused me to thoroughly decontaminate the house, which I did. So now it could be a time to take mushrooms, but I have to be at work in 89 minutes. And that makes me think, no, I'm not going to take mushrooms. Because doing that at work would be silly. Sorry, the cow is distracting me. I will get back on point here. I wanted to, well, I have this idea about work days where I'm going to try to record something in the morning, some point of interest, and then explore it throughout the day, and then come back to some conclusions about it at the end of the day, and use that as my vehicle to record on days that I actually have to work. And I say this because I have to come up with something. Oh, I'm not really this tired. I've been up for a while. But I have to come up with something that permits me to record on work days that I haven't come up with yet, because that's the gap in the recording time. Since I've gone to full time, there's been no time for this. And coupled with all the other things I'm trying to get done, this is the easiest one to push off, because in the long run, it's the one that that has the least consequence for doing so. But that also means that I can go 4 weeks without making a recording, and that's a situation I no longer want to live with. So, we'll see how this goes. This might be a stupid idea, I agree, but I got to give all ideas a shot right now and find the best one. And since my thinking on ideas has been lame lately, I can't trust my own head. Well, I'm kind of back to square one on the drawing board. And what do I mean by I can't trust my own head? I just keep suffering reality checks that push me into places where I can't believe the amount of lies and manipulation that I fell for, and that we're all falling for. I can't believe that the lies and manipulation exist at the level they do. To me, that centers from a place that I can't even get to. In all my scheming days, the schemes were always tactically placed to protect myself from being discovered as less than perfect. And not that we should aspire to be perfect, but there's a part of me that sees perfection within reach, that thinks to not aspire toward acting absolutely 100% as yourself at all times isn't achievable. It has to be. And yet, that's the perfection that I think of today. How much of myself am I being in real time for the universe? Oh, well, my real self must be more tired than I'll admit. I was supposed to be giving up drugs yesterday, but since I never got the mushrooms done, I don't know what to do about that. I mean, fuck, it's March 13th. Do I do the 15th to the 15th? Do I do the, fuck, and am I pushing this off because I can't handle life without drugs? I don't think so, but at this point, it seems like I'm making excuses, so maybe. Anyway, back to the original thought. If cognitive dissonance isn't a phenomenon we're all experiencing right now, I wonder how much looking into your current reality you're doing. My reality was solid. It was structurally sound until, holy shit, until 2 planes hit the World Trade Center in New York City. That was the day my reality started to burst. And frankly, it's been rewriting itself ever since. And not in a capacity that is my doing. No, the discovery of where my reality had been less than real has nothing to do with me. It has to do with my reality disintegrating in front of me. And I don't know if I'm more of a dupe to appeals to authority or to shit, I can't even remember what the one is that where you tend to only consider information that aligns with your current beliefs as valuable or true, and things that contradict it are just conspiracy theory and the ravings of a lunatic. Cognitive bias, or no, whatever. Wow. Maybe I do need some sleep. Anyway, whatever it is that reinforces your current beliefs, you tend to give more credence to, because obviously these people are making sense right here. That's all accurate. These people over here are yelling about dinosaurs never existed. They're lunatics. They've never been to a museum. I mean, what's wrong with those people? And the truth is, I would like to believe that that I'm a sucker to gravitating toward information that appeals to my already intact belief set. But I think if you look at it from a born as a baby all the way up to now, appeals to authority are effective. You put a guy in a white lab coat who tells you this and this and this is going on, and you immediately think it's more valuable than that guy over there on the corner raving about how there were no dinosaurs. So, as much as I wish I were here to explore all ideas and their fundamental properties and principles, and evaluating everything as I see it and what I think, there's no time for that. There's no place for that, and there's no energy for that. In fact, because we are a collective, because humanity is a group, our energy is to bring that which the members of the group have already determined into our structure as an individual in a membership with the group. In other words, what you tell me, I want to believe is true. What I learn from you are things I want to learn as being of value. When you give me opinion and make me think, well, now I'm on to something of my own. But when you lay down, did you know that North America is, in fact, the 5th largest continent? I assume that when I go look for numbers 6 and 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4, they'll be the continents other than North America. And I don't even know if that's right, by the way. Are there 7 continents? I mean, here in America there are, but why is Europe and Asia a different continent? Why are North and South America different continents? That one makes a little more sense, but it's all connected. Anyway, continents, right? There's something that there probably is some debate about, some legitimate debate about. Because really, what are there, 5 land masses? So why aren't there 5 continents? But breaking up Europe and Asia and North and South America may be something that makes sense in the definition of continental organization. I don't know. So maybe 7 is right, maybe 6 is right, maybe 5 is right, maybe 8 is right. Who gives a shit? These definitions are things that honestly don't matter. But the facts, the reality of our day-to-day linear time progression as it occurred and what went down and what it all means and who did what, honestly, these do matter. This is the whole point of being here. And so today I'm going to look for the assumptions I'm making that are wrong. the ones that I am just glomming onto because that's what everybody else is doing. Hey, this must be the way it is. And then I'm going to look for all the ways that I appeal to authority to tell me what I want to think. How many of those are out there? How many ways am I just saying, oh yeah, no, I'll think that because you told me to think that? I hate to say it, but I'll bet most of my foundational thoughts are built on things others told me to think. And that's the unwinding of reality that I'm starting to have to deal with. The African slave trade didn't happen. It's a fucking serious point of information to have go sideways. Especially considering in my educational history, with the multicultural background from which I came, there was a lot of discussion of our time with slavery and the trades therein. I spent an entire classroom hour standing up and lecturing on behalf of slave owners and their positions in the economic situation that was 1800s America. It's an enormous lie. And it's there to diminish an entire population of people. And its collateral damage diminishes the rest of the population of people. For what? Because controlling what I think matters, determining what I think of that is influential, and determining what I believe about this will make me behave like that. It's a sick fucking situation to be in. And we're all suffering. Why it's happening? I have no idea. How it got this way? I can only imagine. But how we're going to break it open is through truth. And I am about ready to spill truth everywhere I can find it. And it's appropriate that I explain a little bit of what's going on. Because I keep gaining what I can only call knowledge. Historical, usually, but it's not always. But what I feel as if I'm acquiring are truths. I keep being exposed to these concepts in my dreams, and then I vet them out in reality. The double toroid energetic field is one. The dinosaurs are one. The pyramid is one, or at least megalithic architecture, including the Great Pyramid. I mean, and I don't know why. I have a truth meter now that rings, and it's ringing right now actually, inside of my body that feels like the chill you get when a blast of cold air from coming in from a hot day, or it's something of that order. And it's almost like you're going to get goosebumps, but I don't get them. Well, that is my truth meter. It's never been wrong yet. And it'll activate in all kinds of scenarios. And whatever is happening at that moment, I know I can trust and is real and is the truth. And these epiphanies aren't just coming in my dreams anymore. I'm starting to understand things at a level of cross-relevance that is making realizations come more frequently. So I don't know why. And it can happen in conversation with other people. It can happen while reading. It can happen while watching a video. It can happen while connecting thoughts in my own head. But it's happening with greater and greater frequency, which is fine. But when I say that I'm becoming something other than myself, these are the parts of me that are happening without any sort of direct motivation on my part. I say direct because I don't know that I'm not being pushed to watch certain things at certain times so that I will get certain knowledge so that it will all connect for me. Maybe that's the whole point of being a non-player character in your universe. But nothing makes you feel more like a non-player character than waking up with knowledge you didn't go to bed with. That shit's spooky. But I'm going to look for all that other stuff today. The point is, how are we being misled? And in what ways can we recognize it so that we can wind in truth where we're just smothered in lies? I suppose that's the point of my whole life going forward, really. Well, I haven't gotten to work yet because it's only 8:38 in the morning. But I just had to say that my tinnitus today, the last week, certainly the last 4 days, has been piercing. It's so bad right now I can barely think. And I've never had a day go where I couldn't get through the tinnitus. But if I listen to it, give it attention, it's with me for the next 3 or 4 hours, and it's just such a distraction. It makes me wonder why it's increasing, why the intensity's ramping up. Is it literally to stop me from thinking? I don't know. But maybe I'll figure that one out today too, huh? A lot of shit to figure out today. Anyway, I gotta go to work. But the next pause will be the pause that should be the 8-hour pause or 9-hour pause until I can reflect upon my day, having thought through what I'm already trying to think about. So, talk to you at the end of the day. Hello, universe. That 8, 9, whatever hour pause I was going to endure for the final portion of the recording actually turned out to be a 22-hour pause. Because yesterday just kind of went weird. And it started with, it started with a day where I couldn't define confirmation bias. All right, no, let's flip-flop this. I defined confirmation bias, I just couldn't name it. And in naming the bias that is accepting authoritarian information as if it is truth or appealing to authority, I never really expanded on how it is that I consider that my worst bias in terms of my current belief set and its inaccuracies. But if you consider your education one long appeal to authority, of course it's the most influential bias you're going to endure. And if you add your parents as authoritative elements in your life, answering all your early questions and late questions about who knows what, well, we're constantly appealing to authority. And whatever answers we get, 9 times out of 10, sit well enough that we think nothing about it, except having gained another point of information in our own lives. So now, as authoritative information crosses my ledger, I immediately circle it as something that needs to be verified. Because I don't trust any of it anymore. He lied to me about everything. And having been a liar who used to lie about everything, I know that means that whatever you say next is to cover your ass about all the shit you've already told us. Because you are in panic mode as you realize that your trust is dissolving. What a liar does is appeals to your sense of trusting nature. They want to use that against you. Actually, that's not even the way it is. They want to use that for themselves, toward their own outcomes. Oftentimes those are diametrically opposed to anything good for you, so that statement's close to fine. But it's not the motivation at play. Liars are self-protectors. They're cowards. And in certain regards, they're cheats. Because they've looked at the game They know there's a level of trust whereby okay, I'll pause for this, but I got to finish this thought, so I'll pause that for this. Liars are self-loathing, insecure cowards. At least the professionals. And I know this because I was one. And the thing you most fear is your audience realizing you're the emperor without clothes. And so, because these cracks in your lying reality that you have created for everyone else start to appear, no matter how good you are, as that starts to occur, all you can do is think CYA. And so the next lie may be outrageous, but it's aligned enough with all the other lies that it could be true. But you don't understand. My cancer's in full remission. It's a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, just like this guy in Maryland 4 years ago, or whatever. You're looking for the extreme solutions to cover your breadth and depth of lies. And that's where we sit, watching you try and make it all work out as it's collapsing around you. I've been through this. I've been through this probably 5-6 times personally. It is hellacious. It is the sort of disappointment, the energy of dissolution that the whole episode creates for this universe to swallow. Well, only on planet Earth, baby. Only on planet Earth. Hang on, pause. Now I could really use that bong hit. And I'm sure so could Mother Earth, so maybe I'll ask her to join me. And when you think about your education, when you think about the soft disciplines, unlike, say, math, physics, some things that have observable, testable, answerable queries that are repeatable and thus become foundational parts of those disciplines, what do you have for that in history? Original documents, and anymore, I suppose you have video evidence, though how strong can that be when you can edit video like you can edit the word? Oh, hold on. And maybe there are artifacts, museums, historical, verifiable, evidence-based foundational stones that you can start to build upon, like tectonic plates and their movements traced back and forward in time to create the map that is our current world of Earth. I'm not saying that there aren't ways that you can come forward in other disciplines with what would be considered the basic foundation of the discipline, but I certainly don't have that in history for myself. I don't have that in anthropology. I don't have that in most of the soft sciences. What I have are expert opinions telling me how it went down and how it was linked to these, and these current ideas within the discipline. And because all of this reinforces itself, well, this is how it happened. There's a lot of that. And anymore, I don't buy into any of it. It's not that I don't think there's some truth in our historical narrative. I just think there's too much woven in, incentivized lies to take and run with any of it. Was there slavery in America? Yes, I have to believe there was. There are slave auction documents. There are slave owner and slave diaries and works of literary production, all of which point to a real time of slave master, slave owner, and slaves in our southern area. But how did the African slave trade work? How was that going on? Who was overrunning Africans by the hundreds, getting them on boats, keeping them alive on a 2-month journey to America to bring them in that condition for sale on the open market to become productive members of some economical engine. No, it doesn't make sense. Think about the boats of the day. There just wasn't the capacity to scale up an operation of that sort. Now, the slaves that are America's history were here. Our minority population that is considered black, a slang term of derision, so I try not to use it. But that group, they're the natives. They were here. It's their land. That's the game. We stole the land from the people, and then we put them to work on it. Because there was no concept of ownership in this country. There was a concept of relationship to the land that was sacred. There was a people of sacred origin who didn't know anything about property rights because there was no such thing. They were too advanced spiritually. So, taken by the white man they were. Because once our courts and laws are applied to your society, you come to realize that you don't have anything. It's all ours. But, we like you. You're a pretty good farmer, and we don't know shit about growing beans, so we're going to let you farm the land for us. Ha! Yeah. Don't feel any white guilt. No, you didn't do anything. Your slaves aren't... Well, you don't have slaves. Fuck, man, I'm riddled with white guilt. Are you fucking kidding me? How could you not be? Well, anyway, going through the reimagining of history as it really went down has me filled with cognitive dissonance. I want to reject all of it. I don't want to buy into this narrative. Hell, I don't even like the narrative we were sold, but I'd like it to at least be foundationally real. Real enough that my life since then has meant something in reaction to living it according to a history that now doesn't exist. Fuck you all. What kind of sick game are you playing? That you would even envision this this extraordinary hoodwinking of the entire world's population. Who are you? Why'd you do it? Why is controlling what we think instead of allowing us to be free to achieve and excel as we are a humanity? Are we that scary? Are we that capable? Are we that extraordinary that you had to keep us suppressed? Mentally? Boxing us in? What is it that we do? Do we love too much? Are we too kind? Does this universe not have room for the forgiving and understanding nature of humans at their best? I call bullshit. This, if I had to guess, started because something needed to be covered up, and it's been getting covered up ever since with more and more obtuse lies that now are so absurd, we're onto them. My confirmation bias is over. I will learn everything from scratch. Because only then do I think I'll know how many ways you have tried to manipulate and fuck with us at the base level. I'm smart enough to go back and start all over. And I'm motivated enough to do it today. So if you think you're going to continue lying to us and creating a reality that isn't us, it stops now. Come clean, and you have a chance of going forward with all of us. Stay cloaked, and I promise, I'm going to find you.